The Roaring Twenties is a phrase used to describe North America as well as London, Paris, and Berlin in the 1920s. It was called this because of the time period's artistic, cultural, and social dynamism. There was a change in politics, jazz music flourished, and the Wall Street crash of 1929 punctuated the end of this era as the Great Depression began to set in. Black pride and separatism was a time period in the 1920s where African Americans were looking for leaders to resolve the solution to accepting white domination in the United States.
Marcus Garvey was a leader fighting for black individuality. He was born in a poor town in Jamaica on the northern coast in 1887. When he left Jamaica years after he was 17, he worked on newspapers and on a United Fruit banana plantation, which all made him worried about the discrimination and exploitation of black people. Upon returning to Jamaica in 1914, he commenced the organization called the Universal Negro Improvement Association, otherwise referred to as the UNIA. This association intended to combine the people of the race together through education, promoting racial pride and developing Africa.
Garvey promoted a separatist vision as well, and this was for blacks to be able to return to Africa as the continent was before they lost to European imperialists. William DeBois was an American civil rights activist as well as other things. DeBois embraced African Americans because he went to a black university where his education was paid for. In 1888, after writing a paper on Otto von Bismarck, the German leader who shaped a unified Germany, DeBois thought that black people could be bonded together to solve their problems as they grew. DeBois felt that blacks should take leadership in order to change a black society. DeBois differed from black leader Booker T. Washington's ideas because he believed that black people should adapt to being in a white-dominated society rather than protest against racism.
Although Garvey and DeBois had the same approach toward racism, they became rivals in the 1920s. Garvey felt that DeBois was a hypocrite because he had cooperated with whites but fought for blacks. DeBois ignored Garvey's attacks and continued working. DeBois joined the Communist Party in 1962 and died in West Africa by 1963, with the belief that an integrated socialist society would accomplish racial and economic equality.
It was in the mid-1920s when the UNIA declined because of conflicts, financial problems, and harassment from the government. Once Garvey was imprisoned and then deported back to Jamaica, the UNIA fell apart. The Harlem Renaissance was a time in history when African American achievements in art, music, and literature flourished. The UNIA was part of this movement, and that matters today because it made an establishment of African American knowledge, in which African American writers, artists, and musicians contribute today.